All right, finally going to take apart this linkage. We got all sorts of bolts to start taking off. So we got a 15 on this side and a 17 on the other side. We'll start with those and just start taking things apart. We're going to clean all these up, so I don't really care about dropping it on the floor. Alright. Is there anything on the back side of that? So you're out of the way. These be the same size. Hey. This is not annoying. There's the shock. Have Loctite on it. We have the knuckle to take. Looks like that's an even larger bolt. Wonder what size that guy is. Not a 20. Looks like it was a 19. So you get 17, a 15, a 19. We don't bend this linkage arm, maybe. Really? It's not gonna fit that either. That's really freaking annoying. That's a 17. Why can't you be like a KTM, Beta, any of the other modern bikes that just use the same size bolts and nuts? Jesus. That's locked down with some power. I don't think I've ever done these, so they're probably destroyed. It's usually my luck. If I don't grease them, then wait too long, and next thing you know, they're... What is going on here? Why won't... That is stupid. Why would you make it to where that doesn't come off without removing that? It's so stupid. Some decisions some of these manufacturers make are just ridiculous. Alright, so I know this one I thought was a 17 when I checked before. Yeah. And then I already have a socket for the big side. Now let's see if we can actually break it loose with a 3/4, or if we're gonna have to go to a big boy, or a 3/8, or if we're gonna have to go up to a 1/2 inch. Well, wasn't too bad. I don't have my dead blow in here, so we're gonna make a poor man dead blow. Piece of wood, and I left the threads all the way engaged That way I had something to hit without worrying about rolling the threads. So we'll just do that again. And it's not seized up or anything, which is good. You know, some of the older style Hondas were kind of known for seizing that swing arm. Next to no grease on that. That's a little disappointing. We just kind of shimmy this guy out. Looks like we got it. There we go. And this is what I was talking about earlier with it not wanting to come out. For some stupid reason, that flange hits that. Why do that? That's so stupid. But anyway, I'll get this over to the workbench and we will take a better look at this. Okay, I missed taking the linkage off, and when I took the bolt out, it hits there, which is awesome. I love when companies do this. This is so fun. So I gotta take this off, pop that out, the little brake lever off so that I can get this past the flange, the washer there. That is so stupid. Why don't these engineers think of any of this? It's so stupid, so simple. Ugh. So, yeah, I'm just gonna bend this over with some pliers, pop it out, and then pop this out, and then we'll get all this stuff over to the workbench. So as typical fashion, stripped out the head of the bolt using decent screwdrivers, like they weren't trash. Ended up busting out the easy out kit, and I just got it loose. I've been messing with this for the last 15 minutes or so, but show you guys the fun part of it where it actually comes out, because the rest of it was not fun. So throw that like that, I guess. I love Phillips so much, especially button heads. Button heads are just great. So, yep, that was fun. Finally got that stupid thing off. I have to order some. Oh my lord. So this has got like little push through rubber hole things that connect it into the swing arm. Come on. No? Alright, how about this? Oh my lord, what is wrong with you today? Just not liking me at all. Good lord. Oh, I love messing with crap that hasn't been taken care of. Although on the bright side, it does look like these have grease in them. So that, if that is, and also kind of like these seal cup deals go on the end of these. Not too bad. There's that thing. Probably take this in the house and clean it up in the sink. Piss off the old lady. I don't know, I might not. We'll see. We'll see. I'll probably clean up a little bit out here first before I take it in there. Just so I don't get murdered tonight. So we got everything. I'm just gonna clean it up. I won't make you guys watch that. That's gonna be long, tedious, and boring. But yeah. Thought you guys would like to see the whole easy out thing. I will order new ones. Why were these Loctited? That is stupid. You can actually see the Loctite on it. Honda, I love you, but What the heck? What the heck? All right, we got everything cleaned up, most of the dirt off, mostly. Good enough. See what kind of fun we can get into. Also, make sure to clean the bolts up, make them all nice and pretty. Okay, so let's see what's in here. It's not bad. Not too bad at all. Let's see what kind of color is in here. Sometimes the color of the grease gives you an indication of, yeah, so see how this is like a light brown? That's the type of grease that they're using. That black is your dirt, but that's mainly on the seal. Looks like that seal right there is actually broke. But I don't really care, I'm gonna be honest. I'll probably just throw this thing back together with some grease, and then, I don't know, another 2 years, probably replace everything in here when everything's all messed up. So I'm just gonna get some of the, like most of the grease out. Clean the seals off. And then I do a good job of cleaning this guy. You can see the scoring right there at the seal. That's where that broken one, that ripped seal is. And you can see inside of there as well. So I like to try and get the grease out of there. So I just kind of stuff and twist paper towel through there until it comes out the other side, hopefully. Okay. One of the things you can do is reach down with the pick and help drag it out. And then once you get through, you just kind of spin it. And then poof, all clean. Okay, so to re-grease it, looks like it goes on this guy. Okay. So all I'll do is grab that, lube up the bolt, some grease, and then looks like this guy, drop it in, and go up and down, spin it, all sorts of stuff. Try and get a nice thin coating all the way across inside. Do it one more time, add some grease to this, a little bit of a coating, and then we'll just kind of work it in. And once we have that coated, grab the ends, coat this bad boy, and it just needs a light coat, doesn't need anything special or a ton of grease or anything. And then I will take a good blob to shove in here, and that finger's too big. Nice. That sucks. I got it all over the wrong finger. That was silly. I should have wiped it on my pinky on the other side. Whatever. You get the gist. Just kind of stuff it in there as much as you can. And there's a cavity between the two bearings that I try to get a little bit of excess grease in, because that's like an oil storage, and that'll act as kind of a grease reservoir, not oil storage, grease storage, and act as like a reservoir to lubricate over time. So do something like that, and then drop this guy back through, wipe it off, get our hands semi-clean. I don't wash them or anything, because I'm just going to go to the next one. Do that. Grab us a clean rag. We're just going to wipe the excess off. Excess grease equals excess dirt. Just collect it. So just kind of rub it off. Now I would like to get a little bit of grease
Does this bolt fit? Alright, we're going to take this bolt, lube him up, and then he's going to be our lubricator. Spin it on in there. Spin it on in there. Now we have a little bit of grease on those moving surfaces. And then just wipe off the excess. And then that bolt is already lubed up and ready to be put back into the assembly. Actually no, because I need to clean up that Loctite. Just one bolt down. We got the main linkage done. Take this and pull the Loctite off. It doesn't have to get all of it, it's just most of it. And then I actually want to take this with the brush and just get most of it. Use a Scotch-Brite, maybe get a little more of it. And wipe it off. Good enough for me. Happy with it. So we got a thin layer of grease on that guy. Move on to the knuckle. Try to get like the dirt off the seals before you pull them apart. That way you don't have it fall inside the bearing. Hopefully I'm not screwing up the angle for you guys. So I'm just going to go around here. Try and peel off the dirt mud cartilage. Looks like this seal might be a little too deep in. Yeah, it definitely went down too deep into. You see how this one recessed in? It's not supposed to be like that. So we'll actually get in there with a screwdriver and just pop it up a little bit. Get her back into close to flush on the outside. And then once I get the dirt mostly there, kind of push the spacer flush and we'll just kind of wipe it all off. Like that. And then we'll flip to the other side, do that real quick as well. Okay. Wipe the dust off, the dirt, flip our rack or towel over, and we'll pop one of these at a time. Make sure my hands are semi-clean. Okay. Not too bad. It did have grease in it. That's not in bad shape. So we'll wipe him off. Actually, the interior is the worst. So we'll actually use an old rag to clean that out because I don't want to contaminate my nice rag that I'm going to use to clean out the interior of the bearing. So push it in as far as you can. Grab a little pick, pull it through. And this I'm just going to use like a clean bore almost. Just kind of drag it through, and that didn't clean it all the way, so put it back in. And then we'll actually pull against one side and rotate it. Drag it. Just kind of get the interior clean. Okay, I want to use this cleanish rag. Put it on my finger. Push it in, spin, get the dirt out. Now that one is a little bit dirtier, but I'm not seeing like mud. If it's mud, I will flush it. Fully Clean it, flush it with alcohol, really clean, do a deep clean, just to get all the dirt and mud out. If it's just like that light, slightly brown, black. Okay. Use a small flat blade. Just kind of pull, maybe. Trying to do this without messing up the seal. It's kind of a light twist of the screwdriver instead of a pry. I'll do it to this side too. Oops. Okay, how do I... Okay, it doesn't look like I'm really doing much. As far as prying that seal out, which it may just be too tight, and I would much rather stay kind of in the wrong location than damage it. So I'm just gonna leave it. Clean out the seal, both sides. Decent. We're gonna take, load up some grease inside. Really slop it in there, and then try to fill the seal sides, the gap between the bearing and the seal, because that kind of acts as like your barrier to water and mud. And we'll just kind of lightly grease them up. And then I know you can see the score right there, but I don't feel it with my nail, so I'm not too worried about it. We'll use this guy to grease this one. I think it's not the right size, never mind. Gotta go to the big one. Yeah, do a dab of it and then spin it on, and as you spin it on, it kind of will do a good job of spreading it out. Then make sure you don't get a huge glob right there at the end. There we go. Put him back in. Wipe off the excess. So we did that guy. And to show that it's done, I'm just going to put the bolt in. Not too bad. This one's even less bad, but there's no grease on the seals. And that seal is fried, it just peeled off. So that's awesome. And this is a smaller hole diameter, so I'm gonna have to use my pinky that I'm so very talented with, apparently. And again, fill up the seal cap. Do a light wipe. Make sure I don't feel anything. I don't. Clean out the interior so that you don't gall up and destroy the bolt more than necessary. Pull it through. Looks like the right one. So we're gonna dab you more grease, spin it on. You can even spin it, flip it over, spin it some more. greasy rags are starting to get dirty, so I'm gonna swap those out for a new one. And this, you don't want a ton right there at the bolt head. I don't know which way I want to put these in. Doesn't really matter at this time. Again, just to kind of log that I have that one complete. And I'm going to throw these to the side. Get myself a new rag or two. Pop him out. Ooh, that doesn't feel good. Yeah, there's a lot more dirt in there. I'm going to start. See there, I can actually feel that. So that I will actually deburr with the oil or the Scotch Brite. Sounds good. See, that's more dirt. That's not what you want to see. That's a lot less of what I want us to go. And I'm trying to spin the bearing to make sure I don't feel any grit, grime, notchiness to it. It's not seized up. We're gonna have to do it, unfortunately. So I'm using the zip ties to hold it together, and also so I don't have as much of that bolt tail on the outside of it. So I want to hold it together. Alright, that way those don't fall out. I'm going to take and wipe that. Oh, where'd my duct tape go? I don't see any duct tape. That's glorious. Alright. How do I want to do this? Since I've already greased these, I don't want to destroy the grease that I've already put in these. So we're just gonna use some cheap electrical tape. This is not good stuff. Just kind of go around it to keep anything from splashing in, because I'm about to use alcohol and flush out the bearing. Where'd my alcohol go? There it is. So what I'll do is I'll just start spraying in there, and this will start breaking down the grease. Just let it sit. And while that's doing stuff, I'll just do this. Clean up that guy. Just kind of get any burrs off of it. It doesn't have to be perfectly smooth, just don't want burrs. Actually has a little bit on the crown. Okay, that's not bad. Not bad inside, but I'll clean her out. Go nice and clean. Now, I like to use an actual rag when I go to clean these out with, well, I can't get any of my fingers in there with the rag. That sucks. And just keep blasting alcohol in there and just kind of wiping out the dirt. That's kind of all I do until you stop getting a lot of dirt coming out. I'm actually going to stuff this thing in here. Stuff the rag in there best I can until it's all the way over. Then we're going to take this and try and spin it. We'll spin this side. Oh, there we go. Just kind of twist it to spin the bearings and get that stuff to come out. And that's looking a lot better. And you can feel it freeing up in there as well. And I just blast it. Now, alcohol will evaporate, so I'll leave this over for a few hours and all the alcohol will actually evaporate out. You don't want to put grease directly in it right after unless you have an air hose to blow it out. But even then, I just let it sit for an hour, a couple hours, so that it all evaporates out so it doesn't degrade your grease when you put it back in. So that's pretty dang good, in my opinion. I'll do one more clean out with the brand new rag. Yeah, there's nothing on it. So I'll leave him over there, sitting upright to drain. I'll get rid of all these alcohol drenched rags. Electrical tape back. And then we will let him sit over for a few days, for overnight probably. And all I have left to do is clean up this guy. And then, I don't know, maybe that'll be it for the day. Alright, so, ooh, that one actually is kind of filthy. Alright, so I know these are bad. Those are gross. Let's see how bad the actual, well, that's not too bad. Definitely could be worse. A lot of good grease still there. That factory crappy looking grease. A little bit of minor galling right there. Right there. A little bit. Not nearly enough that I would want to replace this. And I suppose maybe if you're going for the best possible suspension in the world, sure, but I will never be good enough to appreciate that, so I'm not going to waste the money replacing these machined pivots. Try and stuff it through. Over toolbox, got my long plunger. Push it through, clean it all out. Just a long Phillips screwdriver I've always had. I couldn't tell you where I got it. That is gross inside. You can see that, that's disgusting. So, this rag is one that I have loaded with WD. WD helps break this stuff down, this crud. So I will use WD to break it down. Wipe it off, get all that mud, dirt, crap, crud, all that shite off. And then I'll go back and hit it with alcohol because WD does not just dissipate. and will continue to break down my grease. We don't want that. Wow. I'm just using a pick to help pull some excess grease and dirt out of the crevices. Okay, that's pretty good. Did I get that off? Is that dirt or rust? That is gunk. Okay, that's off. Again, we're just going to use the pick to pull out excess old grease, mud, dirt, whatever you want to call this gunk. Break down any crud. And then we're going to wipe it out. Throw that rag over there. Take my alcohol soaked rag, blast these with alcohol. And I love alcohol because you can blast it all over the place and it's still 100% cheaper than brake clean or carb cleaner, whatever cleaner you use. And I just get this stuff, I get it from Ryer's. I go with the 70% because the 90% will dissipate a lot faster and it won't stay on the surface as long because there's more alcohol. So it's 70% alcohol, 30% water. And the 90% is 100% alcohol, and it will, one, evaporate from this bottle. So before you put this away, you wanna make sure you lock that down or because it'll evaporate. And then it also doesn't stay on the surface you're trying to clean as long. So I just like it to last a little longer and maybe not be quite as potent. Okay, that's pretty clean. And we're just trying to get all that dirt out. Okay. There's that. Let's see. I use the WD rag to try and get this crud off the outside ceiling surfaces. Do both sides, and again I just use the pick to kind of loosen everything. Not really scratch, just kind of loosen all the debris up, just so it comes off with less elbow grease. Okay, cleaned up. Wipe the WD off with our rag that has our alcohol on it. Clean it up a bit. Now we're gonna make sure that's clean. Dirt's off of it. We're gonna come in here and try and wipe out the old gunky grease. And we keep monitoring the color of it. See See how bad a shape these bearings are in. Really good. That is fresh grease, not really any dirt color to it. It is that crappy grease that you get from the factory, but not bad. Not bad at all, actually. I'm happy with that. That's just a throw grease back in it. Get the old grease out. Yeah. Very happy. Again, it's just that grease color. It's not really mud color. And you can tell when it's mud color. It'll come out looking like mud. So now I'm just gonna stuff this through. Use our long Phillips to shove it through the other side. Yeah, that's good enough. Yeah. Okay. Got it kind of stuck in there. Just use some needle nose to pull it out. Still not very. Looks like some rust down. Yeah, there's definitely rust on the in-between the two bearings. I don't love seeing that. So what I'm going to do to fix that is I'm going to create one of these, right? And I'm going to load it up with grease. Just like that. And you're like, gosh, what the hell are you doing? All right? I know. But I'm going to spin this in. Right? My hands are filthy, blah, blah, blah. But what this is going to do is coat that surface in between the two bearings and keep it from rusting in the future. Because now you can see there's a little bit of grease all the way along that rust. That'll just keep it from rusting anymore. It's not gonna necessarily clean it. I'd probably need to pull the bearings and run some sort of spinning, I don't know, something in there to get the rust out. But that might do okay for now. Got my screwdriver all greasy. Alright. So now I'm just going to load up the bearings and just kind of as much as far as I can get my finger in there to put grease. I'm just going to slather that bad boy in. Just kind of all sorts of grease in there. More grease is way better than no grease, in my opinion. Just as long as it's inside the cavity and not outside the cavity. Don't want grease outside the cavity. I'll do a little bit right around the sealing surface. Now I am going to put grease on this. Now I know you don't need to, but I'm going to try and prevent rust. There we go. And then spin them all the way. I'm gonna pack these guys full of grease, not a ton because it won't seal on if you overload it, but you want as much as you can. Nice good sealing on all surfaces around that groove. This one. See how much it's pulling off there? You want to wipe that off because it's going to do it when you put it in the bike. Shit, don't land. Oh, nice. I did drop that, but it landed flat side out, so, or down. So no dirt got put on the inside, only on the outside. So I can push that bad boy on. Wipe off the dirt off the outside and we're good to go. And then we just put our nut bolt on there just to keep everything from getting, I don't know, contamination maybe? Something like that. So now all I'm gonna do is, all these are greased and ready to go. And all I'm gonna do, yeah, that could be greased tomorrow with that. So I'm gonna let this stuff sit overnight to let that one just kind of, that bearing we cleaned, make sure all the alcohol evaporates. So let it all sit overnight and then we will get back at it tomorrow and put this thing back together. So I think we'll end the video there, I guess, and we'll do another clip on putting this thing back together. All right, so we're gonna start the back end. See, this is that restrictor plate I took out for the upgrade, the power parts and stuff. So I used to have one of these 230s when I was younger, and I did that to it, and it made a world of difference. So I figured I'd do the same to this one. Just gives it a lot better bottom end, starts better, different things like that. So we're just gonna start stripping this thing and see what kind of stuff we can get into. See if there's anything to fix. Okay, we need a 5. Let's see if it's a 5 on a Honda. It is.
See, I got my little Tusk battery in there. I like those. And I'm running a lead out here because it's not easy to get to this battery to charge it. So I'm actually going to, do we want to bust into a lot of these electrical connections? I probably should, because I don't think any of these have been messed with. Good to use the sticky stuff to actually stick these in. Well, I guess it sticks pretty good by itself. What else we got in here? Some electrical connections. Some stuff up here that I really don't know what it's for. A random switch. What the fuck is this switch for? I have absolutely no idea. There's a random switch down here that I don't know what it's for. So we're gonna have to figure that out. Yeah, that's fun. Well, let's take the tank off, I suppose. I can remember how to take these up. Looks like it's 2 bolts up front. Down under here. We got a bolt here. On the other side. Let's pop those off real quick. Looks like I'm missing a rubber grommet for this side. Oh, and we broke the plastics right there apparently. That's good. Love when that happens. We'll actually leave that there so I don't forget how it goes. Pull it on down here. Okay, all we have left is the petcock tube, our fuel tube from the car. So I like to use some pliers and just kind of rotate it, the tube, with some pliers first, just to break the suction seal. So I just get a hold right here, just kind of wiggle it back and forth just a touch. Don't pull with it, just twist it back and forth to break the seal. Drain the gas in there. This gas is still good. Now I won't shoot it off. So it looks like that stupid hanger thing actually holds this in. For some reason, that's stupid. Don't like that. So the tank's off. Oh, there's my rubber grommet. Found it. We found our rubber grommet. It's up here instead of right there, where it should be. So we'll be able to put that back on. Oh my. I feel like I need to wash this thing. Holy crap. So much mud and crap caked up under here. Hate when they're not flushed out. Looks terrible. Now these I won't do because they're the undoable ones. So I won't cut those flush because it makes it easier to take them on and off. So, let's see. So we got a battery hanging out here. Probably should just disconnect the battery. That's probably what I should do before I go shorting something out. Because I do have a history with doing that. I do like the fact that they have this little glow. It tells you if it's charged or not. I am going to throw this on the charger since I have it out. Okay, that's on the charge. So this is how I ended up mounting the pull strap on the back. It didn't want to go like in the how you bolt the seat down, because normally you put them around that bolt. So I bolted it right there, which is through a part of steel. So I thought that was pretty good. Fits nice, so I like the way that was mounted actually. Let's see. All right, so start figuring out what the heck is in this crap. Okay, this is that. Okay, what is this to? I'm glad that came apart. That's cool. Okay. So it follows this. Which comes to right here. So this must have been that light bar crap that the guy had. So the guy had like a light bar on this when I bought it. Apparently I cut it off. I don't really remember it, but whatever. There's that. And I'll just take this stupidity off. Don't need it. Extra weight. We don't need. There we go. There we go. Extra weight's gone. Should be gain 5 horsepower just doing that. that's way cleaner. Set up. Alright, so push you down. This should pull apart as well. I do have a history of breaking those, so we're gonna be careful. There we go. There we go. What I did was I just grabbed the back where it's actually soldered on and just grabbed it and pulled there. That way I didn't pull the wire out of the connector. And all I'm going to do is run some dielectric grease there, there. Do that. There we go. Slip that over to protect that. Get that back together. Pull this down so it's protecting that. Okay. There's that stuff. Did end up taking some stuff off. Let me hit these with a Scotch-Brite real quick just to clean that up a touch. What are you? Just part of the airbox? Yes. Okay, what's in here? Oh shit. Alright, so we got a fuse and another connector. Deal. I just stuffed dielectric grease in there and chuck it back together. And this goes on that little hanger. There. Lock you back in. Like that. I actually want to slip this guy behind there. These are my battery leads to charger. So I'm actually gonna slip those two guys behind the main lines that go into this little slot right here. You can kind of see that slot. There. Okay, this needs a little clear up there. Okay, so I need this to be shorter. Why is that so tight? I'm starting to wonder if I actually ran this or this was an add-on feature or one the other dude did. Honestly,
imagine I've done it.
They're sloppily. But never know, I guess. I don't love the way that works there. Kind of want that to be down here so I have more length. Yeah, I don't like that. So, I'm gonna do that. And then we can have this go up there nice like. And this side, tucked back here onto the battery. And then this side can go across. Something like that, maybe. That's a little nicer. And I can just tie that right there. Yeah, that'll be fine. I think. Might zip tie that there. There, that's a little cleaner. A little bit nicer setup. Let's see. I don't know if I actually want to take apart the carb or not. It looks like we do have some more electrical connections over here.
I'm gonna just go around the outside just to make it easier to go on and off on anything that was kind of a sticky one, so that it's easier in the future. Looks like our spark plug's a little old. Probably should get a new one. Probably should. I need to actually do spark plugs on everything. All the bikes probably should get them going into the year. Okay, so let's see. We got one more electrical connection on this side. I think. I'm guessing there's one in here. Oh yeah, tons of stuff in there. Let's see, how does this come apart? Like that. There goes that. Oh yeah, there we go. There's a bundle of goodies. Since so many of those are similar, we're gonna take them apart slowly. We don't accidentally swap them. Okay. These guys can go back together. Those three are done. I can't rotate these. Over here, maybe? So that I can stand up. When you do these little bullet connectors, you want to make sure you get them back together, and you get them back together all the way in, because I don't love doing them. Do them as little as possible, but I have seen them corrode and cause electrical issues, but definitely only do them once because you can get those tabs not wanting to connect again very well. That goes through here. Okay. And then we have that little, here's one right here. Come on. Hate those stupid little clips. They're always in the I think they came from automotive. So stupid. I mean, they're clever, I guess, but I do not like them. I'd rather just have zip ties. Cut them off and replace them. All right, so that's all the electrical connections on this bike, it looks like. There. That goes around, that goes up.
Routing is pretty nice and clean. See if I want to add any zip ties anywhere. That's fine. Oh no, I'm pretty good. I don't know what the dog's doing. Sky, hey, what are you doing? She doesn't know. Oh, I guess it's a 2016. I thought I had a 2017. All right. Well, there's that stuff. Maybe I will pull the carb. I probably should at least make sure that I don't have any gunk in the low jet. Maybe I'll just do a quick jet clean, maybe. I don't know. Shouldn't be bad. The gas was still good. I probably won't do it. So, all right. I think next steps are we're gonna pop the rear wheel off. Probably ratchet strap this thing down first. Yeah, we'll get started doing that stuff. So, I just checked the battery. It's charged all the way. So, we're gonna put that back together real quickie. I like to run Scotch-Brite and just clean off the tabs real quick. Come on. Of course I made that too dang tight. Go figure. All right, so that's back in. Start buttoning this up. Okay, there's you. Bundle him around like that. decent, right? Not too shabby. We'll take you. There we go. Nice tidy electrical box. Way better than what we had. Yeah. Okay. So I'm gonna put the gas tank back on, I think. All right. That was a little tricky to get. I was having trouble with. Oops. Was getting these into proper position. Still isn't there. Oh, there we go. Kind of, sort of. I don't know if I want to. I probably need to hook these in first, right? Or will they? Okay, that's not too bad. And here's the rubber out of this side. How's it go? It goes up like. Oh, it's. Oh my, this is annoying. Yeah, that's annoying. Okay. So I can do it after the fact, it looks like. Alright, so I got that on. This stupid grommet. That was fun. Please don't knock off. That would really irritate me. Please don't. Okay, there we go. There's that. And then all we have left is to line up these guys. Be irritating. I'm not gonna lie, this fender in the way is kind of a nuisance. Why are you not coming full time? there should go in. Okay. So I'm just going to take the side panel off to see if it's any easier to try and align that. For some reason I'm having difficulties. Should not be that difficult to align. Let's see. Okay, so what are we missing here? Okay, let's try. We'll try putting something in there to pull that forward. Wow, why is that such a pain? Okay, this is gonna take me a minute. All right, so what I ended up doing was shoving a small screwdriver in there to where I got into the hole, and then shimmy shaking the rear of the tank until for, I don't know, 5-6 times, and then I checked and it was lined up. So then I put this screw in, got it started, flipped to the other side, and it went right in. So I guess that's the key to it. A little bit of a pain, but got it. So I'll button this stuff up. This is pretty boring, so I'll just button up and yeah, get this thing finished up. All right, so we switched it to the Tusk roll around stand, and we're gonna bolt it down. Going to take off the rear wheel. So here we go. Yes, I'm using a torque wrench as a breaker bar. I just put it up to 200 pounds and use it as a torque wrench or as a breaker bar. Oh, this is on this side, to undo the brake, I just pull the brake up tighter and then spin the nut freely. Okay. Screw that back on there. That guy be done. Okay, now I need to pop this off the chain. I like to use these Clip-X pliers. These things are amazing. If you don't have them, get a pair. They're freaking life-changing. All right. Don't let me. Fine. You want to be that way? That's whatever. Okay, chain's off. Now we take the rest of the nut off, the axle off. De-weight it a little bit. Come on. Got a little bit of galling going on here. We'll grease it, clean it up, get her back together. Although, quite honestly, I'll probably just clean up the wheel, rim, and then, because I do have a new sprocket and chain coming in early next week sometime. But like, the sprocket's not terrible. Granted, this isn't a high power bike. And I have a pretty aluminum one coming. It's gonna be red. So, and then a gold chain. My Triumph dealer's hooking me up with some pretty good prices. So, thank you, Dave. But yeah, so we'll get some parts on this guy. Probably just switch over to not detaching the swing arm so that it's all ready to be cleaned up as well. Need to find a place to put these forks or they won't get themselves hurt. Maybe I'll just put it back on the bike for now. No, because it's got the stickers. I don't know, I need to find some place to put them. So we will do that, and then I'll get the everything around to take off the shock. We'll do that. Alright, so we're going to clean these up a little bit. And basically the same thing I did to the front wheel. Just kind of clean up the bearings or bushings. Looks like these are a little crappier than the fronts were. And that's just alcohol in there. Rubbing alcohol is what I use. Dang near as good as, it's not quite as good as like carb cleaner or brake cleaner, but it's a whole lot cheaper. You can buy it at Walmart. Like 32-ounce jugs, a couple bucks. Tech tip of the week. I use the crap out of it. If you use it on oil, it'll basically drain the oil right off of whatever it's on. So like when you're cleaning out your drain pans and whatnot, use some, blast a little alcohol on it, it'll run right off. You can just let it drip overnight. Be gone in the morning. All the residue, not like just part of the residue. So, yeah, it's not bad. Let's do paper towel. No, sorry. I need to get a head mount or something for the GoPro. Easier to make sure it's looking at what I'm trying to show. I think I might have one, honestly. Be able to mess around and get that out. Here we go. And then we're gonna stuff it in. What we did the front. Where's my long screwdriver? I just use a long Phillips to push it through. Because, like I said before, kind of think black powder, ramrod kind of theory. There we go. This side we got the bearing.
clean out the brake drum a bit. Okay, I think I'm gonna get this guy. I'm gonna try and go around the drum a bit, knock off some of this rust, clean it out a little bit. Try not to get any alcohol in the bearing itself, but all is dry. Try and get a little bit of it. I might actually use the rag. That's pretty crappy in there. Wow, that cleaned a lot of gunk out. Might do that some more. Holy cow. Wasn't expecting it to be that dirty, I'm gonna be honest. Alright, it's cleaner than what it was. Oh wow, that brake drum is kind of nasty. So, I go to town on it. Oh shoot. Look at all that gunk. Holy cow, look at that. I think I might just let that dry overnight. Kind of brake side down, let all that drip out. Probably what I'm gonna do. Supercross is about to start, so I need to go watch some of that. It's the Triple Crown in Dallas. I think I forget who my picks are. I can't remember if I have Roxon. I know my top 5 is Tomac, of course, Beast Mode. I got Tomac, I got Ken Roxon, I think will do pretty well. Sexton, I would say possibly, but the consistency with Sexton is so bad. There's no way that he does well all 3 races, so I don't have him in it. I do have Tomac because he's very consistent. I do have Hunter because he's consistent. think I have Jason Anderson up there because he's been really good this year. Just kind of not, he's been consistently top pack, but not the very top. And I also have Webb up there because I think Webb's gonna surprise us and actually put in an effort this week. I'm calling it since he kind of got his butt kicked last week. So I'm letting that dry face down overnight. And then I will get back to this thing tomorrow. After, I'm just gonna go ahead and clean up the workbench. And then we will dig into the linkage tomorrow.